Hi there. This is Tech Talks by George and District 84 here in Central Florida. Today we're going to discuss when you are the timer and you're using OBS. I want to show you how you can go about setting it up and making it all function so very smoothly that your fellow members will be so impressed with the great job that you did. Let's get into it. Here we are over in OBS. We see our standard setup, the top area being the preview panel, we'll call it, and then the bottom 5 columns of scenes, sources, audio mixer, scene transitions, and controls. And again, we'll start off with just looking at scenes. And the very first thing that I think that we should do is find out where George is. He's missing here. So one scene, when you make a new scene collection, you're always given one scene name, and that's what we see here right there. It says scene. You can call these anything you want. But if you just copy these over and over, it'll say scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. But the more important thing is to add a camera to this setup. So I'm going to add a video capture device, and I'm going to use my Logitech 920, and I'll say OK. Now we see me currently in my computer, which is not a good camera for me, but my Logitech sure is. Now here we are in the Logitech camera. Now I'll say OK. Now I'm going to hit Control F to give this full screen. You saw me do this in my last video. And I'm going to give it a background. Let's say today we'll go, well, let's do blue. I'm going to hit the plus key down here under sources. I'll go up to color source. I'll say blue, B-L-U-E. And I've already saved all of our Toastmaster colors right here. When you do this, you can type in the color, the hex code, I think it's called, right there, and you will get these colors. And I went with blue today. There we go, blue, say OK, and OK again. And of course the blue is over top of my camera, and all I need to do is move the blue down. There I am. Now, I haven't told my camera that I have a green background, or what they call a chroma key. I don't know why they call it that. But here's what I'm going to do. I'll do right hand click. I'll hit filters. I'll add a plus key here, and the chroma key is the green filter. I click OK. It looks pretty good right there, so I'm not going to touch anything. Just hit OK, and you can see it's OK. There, I've got a little gray shading down here at the bottom of my elbows. I could adjust that out if I wish. I'll go back to filter, click on the chroma key, and just move it up a tad. I'll move to 405, maybe 410, and close it. Let's see, starting to fade. But you get the idea. That's how we can get it just almost perfect, absolutely perfect each and every time. Okay, now what I want to show you today is how to be the timer. That's what I'm leading up to. This could be your standard video. In fact, let's not make it the standard video. Let's make us a little smaller today. So I'm going to grab my video and move it down to the corner, because this will be my position, or what I want the audience or the speaker to see when they are speaking. I want them to see just a blue background behind me. And what it allows them to see is that they haven't reached the minimum time. Now the next step is I'm going to copy this scene. So I'm going to do a right-hand click and I'll say duplicate. See it right there? I'll duplicate this and I'll call it scene 2. But maybe let's call it green, Green. So there's no confusion when we're doing this. Now it is absolutely a same identical as the very first scene that I built. But now we're going to start to add other things to it. So what we'll do here is change this. I'll go to image, I'll add an image. I'm going to browse over to it and we'll call it green. I'm going to say green 1 because here's what happens if I try to call it green. It says this name is already in use because we called the scene green. So I'll just say green 1. And I'll go like that. Now I'll browse over to my, forgive me while I browse over to my Toastmaster files. And I will just go to, I think I have them set as part of my virtual backgrounds. And I have lots of virtual backgrounds, but here are the colors right here. So I'll do green. I'll say open. And I'll say okay. I hit the Control F to shrink it down to the right size. I can make it blow up to the right size, and you can see I can bring it down to the right size. But then again, the green is laying over top of my camera. So all I'll do is hit the down arrow key right down here, move that down. There I am again. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is go back up to the scene 1, let's call it, and duplicate it again. This one we'll call yellow, Y-E-L-L-O-W. And there we have it, but it's blue. And of course I'm going to go here. I'll go add an image as I did before. We'll call this yellow, Y-E-L-L-O-W, yellow 1. And then I'll browse over to it. And this time I won't have to browse far because I'm already there. There it is, right there. I'll say open. Say okay. Oh, that one's too big. So I'm going to hit the Control F key again. Control F. That shrunk it right down to the proper size. And of course I'll bring it down 1. There I am. Okay, let's make one more. Our red key. So I'll do a right-hand click on the scene again, duplicate it. We'll call this one red 1. Say okay. We'll go add that red image, is what I'm going after here. Oops, I called that red 1. I misnamed them, but I can change that all in a minute here. Let me get down to my pictures. Here's red 1, or red. I got it. Of course, it's too big. I hit the Control F to bring it down to size. I move it down 1. Here we are. Now all my colors are made. We always start with our blue. And in fact, in this blue, let's have a Toastmaster logo in here. So I'll go to Image, and I'll say Logo, L-O-G-O. And I'll go browse and find a logo. I don't think I have it in there, but I do have it sitting in here in Logos. Here we go, Logos. And I'll just hit Logo, say OK. And OK again. That's a little bit big, so I'll bring it down, down, down. I'll slide it up here. Let's move it down a little more. There we go. We'll just have that sitting up there, make it look official. So now you see we have our first slide when they have not reached their minimum time, the green, yellow, and red. But wait, let's make it even easier. Instead of having to click using my mouse or click using the arrows, which I can do easily, I can also use a hotkey. And that's what I do on my computer. I use on my number pad the letters 1, 2, and 3 to change between green, yellow, and red. Now I'll show you how those hotkeys are made. We'll go over to the settings here. So I'll click on settings right over here. You can also find settings up in the tool collection at the top. Then I'm going to click on Hotkeys. And now I'll just slide down. I want to switch to the green scene whenever I hit the number 1. And then I want to switch, while we're here, I want to switch to the red scene when I hit the number 3. And guess what I want to switch to when I hit, here, let's hit 0 to go back to blue. And then yellow will be the number 2. Now I'll hit the apply button and OK. Now let's see if this all works. I'll hit the 0 to bring us back to home. So we were sitting, we're listening to the speaker do their talk. They hit the minimum time. You hit the 1, brings you to green. And then yellow, and then red. And then back to blue when they're all done. That's how you do timing, set up timing over in OBS. I hope you like it. It really steps up your game for timing. You look very good here. And then in the future, I've already developed a way of ringing a bell for those that are sight limited, or they don't look at the participants in a meeting. I oftentimes will stand and use a stand-up camera, and I don't see our timer. So I like to hear what's going on or when I hit my minimum, middle, and maximum time. So we'll talk about that again in the future. But for today, set up your 4 colors, blue, green, yellow, and red. And I think you'll look much sharper as a timer, a Toastmaster timer. Thank you.